This is Laura Brandenburg, the creator of Mom Style Your Business. And if you have been on our email list for more than a week, you probably noticed that we just ran a launch. Like, pretty a big launch in terms of how close it is to my heart and my soul. And I just wanted to share, I don't think entrepreneurs share nearly enough about what actually happens behind the scenes in their business. So I wanted to share a bit about that launch, why I did it, kind of the motivator, the results that I had, and the lessons learned. So let's jump right in. So why? I kind of went on record about a month ago that I was going to focus on consulting and the book. Like, what led me to launch that program? And I was at a conference just a little under a month ago now, where we did this visualization about what we were inspired to do and where we saw ourselves 10 to 15 years in the future. And I realized I really wanted to be doing more work helping women, especially helping us all become more financially empowered and helping our daughters become more financially empowered as well. And so I left that conference just re-inspired on the work that I was doing here at Mom Style, and acknowledging that the book was going to be like this long-term thing. The consulting wasn't affordable for a lot of people, and I kind of got re-energized around I totally got re-energized around a program and doing a group program. And I felt like I left that conference with a better understanding of who you all are and what you all needed from me. And so I was super excited. Oh boy, there goes the throat already. But here's what happened. Because I was so excited and so energized, I dove in way too fast. So this is a lesson learned. I'm kind of fast forwarding a bit, but the thing that I should have done first was say, all right, I'm super energized. What can I do to help you? Instead, I've made a mistake I've made dozens of times in my business, and I said, I'm super energized. Here's what the solution looks like, right? And actually, the very first thing that we talked about inside the Passive Income Products with Impact program this week was getting feedback from your potential buyers early on in the process, and how critical that is, because I want to share what the results were. The results were not fantastic from a financial perspective. I made the decision early on, because I wanted to have a certain number of people in the program, that I would comp in anyone who'd participated in one of our previous workshops, either an in-person workshop, a virtual workshop, or one of the challenges. And so we had 13 or 14 women from those previous workshops join, but that was all complimentary. I'm super excited about them joining. Actually, my goal was 15, so we came really close to that part of the goal. We had one paying person join after the webinar, and so that was not the goal. My goal was actually 10 people. I wanted 25 people total, and there was this point in the launch where I realized it was going to happen, right? So if you watched what happened in terms of the sequence, first there was a live webinar session, and that was actually an amazing success from a registration standpoint. We had over 80 people join. My goal was 100, but we came really close. I was happy with having over 80 people join, register to join. We had 11 people show up live, which I was on the webinar, I'm 30% is pretty normal. 10 or a little 10 to 15% is pretty low. And my lesson from that is, as mom entrepreneurs, I know I'm the worst about going to webinars. I love delivering webinars, to be honest with you, but I'm the worst about showing up for them unless I've paid for them. And even then, I'm kind of bad about it. So, and that's why I've talked about before, I actually do more one-on-one work now than group training programs, because it's just there's such a commodity. I feel like my time is such a commodity or not a commodity, such a high value for me, that I would rather invest in one-on-one than have to go through a group program. So I get it. We're busy. What was I thinking with, a webinar? But so that's a big takeaway, right? If you also have mompreneurs or moms in your market, maybe an hour webinar isn't the best choice. Maybe videos like this one, new experiment, are a better choice. So, but from that webinar, made an offer, early bird offer, and had one person join that night. And then it was just really quiet. And the best thing in the launch is when there's just sales flooding in. That's the best thing. The second best thing is when there's questions flooding in, and you could tell people are like actually considering your offer and just trying to figure out if it's right for them. The worst thing in a launch is when you just hear nothing. And it really, like, I realized that after the early bird offer closed, and because there was a discount for webinar subscribers, I kind of got like, I was like, all right, it's not going to be what I thought it was. I opened up that early bird offer really quickly in the group. That was a response to the lack of webinar participation. In a way to try to recover some of that energy and discount, and maybe have a few more people take up on the discount. Obviously didn't work, but I was just adjusting and trying to feel it out. But I could just feel like the offer wasn't landing in a super awesome way. It wasn't getting the reaction I wanted. So I kind of knew, like, on Thursday or Friday, I was like, oh my gosh, maybe we'll have a couple people more people join, but this isn't going to be what I expected. And that sucked. Like, I don't want to like sugarcoat any of this. Like, part of this, what I want to do here is actually share the real stuff that happens behind the scenes. Like, frankly, that totally sucked. And my aunt was here over the weekend, and so we had a few drinks right on Friday night, and I was like, I'm thinking about shutting down Mom Style. Like, after a few drinks, I don't think I can do it anymore. Like, I thought this offer was the offer, and there's just no response, or very little response. I just don't know if I can do it. And I had already like gone through the mental, before that I'd gone through the mental idea of like, all right, I'm just putting all the work I've done, everything I've done, and putting it in a box, right? It's all done. All the emails are set up and ready to go. The programs, like, everything's set up. I'm putting it in a box, and I'm not doing anything else. Unless there's a breadcrumb, or like there's a distinct call to do something else that's not coming from me, but is coming from outside of me. And a few of those things happened. Like on Monday, at the final close of the offer, there were a lot of questions that came in, so I responded to those in a live stream in the group. There were a few things that came up, but for the most part, I put the whole thing in a box and just said, let it run its course. Either there's going to be more people that join or there's not, because I kind of need to protect my energy and and I had put too much into it without receiving the right thing. But it all started with me not first asking you, what do you want? And so if you are thinking about offering a program, writing a book, putting together a toolkit, ask your people what they want from you. And if you're not getting answers, then keep asking, and kind of wait for those answers to show up. Because I know a lot of you are a lot like me. I like to go in my creative cave. I like to come up with these great ideas, and then it kind of sucks at the end. I'll be honest with you. Now, I'm in a totally different space now. I'm trying to recap where I was a few days ago when I was still in the middle of this launch, because I don't want, if you're listening and you are one of the 14 women who joined from my previous, or that one buying customer, like, I don't want you to feel like, oh gosh, Laura doesn't really want to show up and do this. Like, I actually did have to shift my energy to say, you know what? I was inspired not just by the money, because it wasn't just about the money. I was inspired to show up and do this work. And I have 14, 15 people who are engaged, whether or not they paid, they're engaged to move forward with this, through this with me. And I am committing, like, I thought about canceling it and saying, we didn't have enough paid participation to justify it. And I was like, no, I'm doing it. And once I committed to doing it, obviously I'm going to finish it, right? And I'm excited about it. Like, I'm excited about the possibilities. And a lot of these women, like, I know really well because we've worked together in some way in the past. And I'm excited to see what they create next. I'm excited to be part of that process. I'm excited to inspire them to take the next step and put like all the value into the program that I can. So I just wanted to emphasize that if you're listening in and are actually part of the program. So we're kind of getting longer than I thought I would be here, but other lessons learned just quickly, besides ask for feedback early. And moms guard their time. So, if you are serving mom entrepreneurs or moms in your business, really think about how you can be conscious about moms guarding their time. And I'm going to be thinking about that as well, which is why I'm cutting this video to a close soon. One thing I'd love you to do is, because I want to show up and share more of these stories, I have this idea that maybe I'm supposed to be more of more of a role model and less of a teacher in this space. And so my experiment is to be sharing some of my stories about what's actually happening in my business, go pull up the veil, go deep behind the scenes and let it all out. And so if there's something about my business that you are curious about, whether it is Mom Style or Bridging the Gap, please leave a comment below. Let me know what it is, or email me privately. That's fine too. And I would love to answer those questions for you. I'm going to be starting to share what's going on behind the scenes and see how that works and see what kind of response I get from that. Meaning, what do you think, right? What do you think about this as an idea, and how can we use it to take the next step together? So thank you for watching. Good luck with your next launch, and don't let this be a detractor. It's actually just a lesson in how to structure a launch and how to guard our energy and make sure that we're showing up to do the work that we're here to do. Again, Laura Brandenburg, and I'm the creator of Mom Style Your Business. Love you, ladies.